The Halal Travel Podcast.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Side Talk. Okay, so we are in episode 9 or 10. I'm always getting this wrong.
10.
Okay, something like that. But today we're gonna do today we're gonna do something a bit more deep. Okay. On more of like, you have to look back in your past sort of questions, okay? So tell us about one thing that's happened in your life that you were upset about in the moment, but eventually learned to be grateful about. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's a spider on the wall. No,
If you win, I don't care.
Hey, tak habis. I don't know the rest. I forgot.
Okay.
No, mine's
Now that you mention it, I also can't remember.
catch a spider on the wall.
Mini, mo. Catch a spider on the wall. If you win, I don't care.
That's different.
Mini, mo.
That's not the one that I know.
Or is it the eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Catch a spider by her toe. If she holla.
It's a spider
Like
on the
different
wall.
place.
Something else. Let it
Okay.
go. Any, many, many more.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, disappointment. I think one of the things that I regretted, was it regretted? What was the term?
It's not disappointment.
You're
It's
upset about.
Oh,
Upset.
well, I wouldn't say upset,
Yeah.
but I think it was something like a kind of huge thing. This was very long time ago, back when I was in JC. So I went to JC, and throughout the whole entire time in the 2 years of my life there, I didn't do that well. So it was like, usually you're like getting A's, B's, and then suddenly you're thrown into like a whole new world, and all of a sudden your grades become S and a U. So basically S and a U, S is like sub-pass, meaning like 45%. You just pass, something like that. And then U is basically undergraded lah, something like that. And that's me throughout the whole entire 2 years of my life there. But the funny thing was, I was expecting to get to have the opportunity to retain. But because after the first year, somehow or other, my grades was like just nice to get promoted. And so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll have to go through the second year, even though I have no idea what I'm doing there. And then I guess it took me a very long time to understand the concepts and how to apply the questions in JC. And it was only towards like 1 month before my A-levels, that's when like all the concepts stuck down. Then by then it's like too late already. So the
Wait, concept what? Stop.
concepts stuck to me. Like
You
it made
understand.
sense. Yeah, it made sense. Then I'm like, oh, that's what 2 years in JC meant. Something like that. I mean, so there was this one class that I went to. I think it was chemistry, or is it physics? The first lesson that we had to go to, right? And he was like, my teacher was like saying, okay, whatever you learn in secondary school, scrap it. Now I'm like, whatever you learn in secondary school is wrong. Then like, why do you even teach us in the first place? But I guess he just wants you to come into the session with an open mind lah.
Right.
But anyway, back to the story. So when I got my A-level results, I do remember that I was at the back of my we were like driving somewhere in a taxi, and I was at the back of the car. And then that's when you get the results, right? I had the papers lah. And then I was so afraid to open it. So I was like, do I want to open it? Do I not want to open it? So I had someone beside me opening it up and having to look at the grades lah. Because I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to do well, because I didn't even know whether I'll pass or something like that lah.
Yeah.
No expectations whatsoever. And then when he opened it up and then he saw the grades, I could tell that I don't know whether it's good or bad or whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, fine. It's my turn to see it. And jang, it was bad.
Really bad.
As in like bad. So when you open it up, you read the grades, right? It's BAD.
So just good lah.
So
Better than you expected.
better than what I would have expected. So, but the funny thing is, it was considered bad because like when you go to look at all the degrees and all that, right? Nothing really stuck up to me. Like I wasn't interested in any one of those that I was interested in. There were no courses that were something that I was interested in lah. Yeah. So because of that, I had the opportunity to, whether to retake or just do whatever I want. And that was when I decided to take a 1 year sabbatical. And that's when I started to work different jobs, like part-time here, part-time there. Then that was when I had so much experiences and I've met so many different people. And because of that bad grades, it brought me to a different experience that I would have never gotten elsewhere.
That 1 year that you took like as like a gap year before,
Yeah.
could that have helped you enter university?
That was when I decided that, instead of retaking my A-levels, why not just go to poly?
All right.
Unconventional.
I mean, I think when I was in secondary school, I was saying to my parents or whoever that I wanted to go to ITE, poly, and JC. Yeah, so it was
Almost there.
almost there. But yeah, it was a good experience. I wouldn't exchange it for anything. If you were to ask me whether it was a wrong thing to go to JC, I wouldn't say that as well, because if I didn't go to JC, I wouldn't have gotten the chance to go to Germany.
Right.
Yeah,
So that moment that you are upset is when you
Got my
struggled
bad.
in JC and you got your bad grade.
Yes.
Literally bad grade.
Because it was the unknown phase, like you have no idea what you want to do with your life back then, and then it's like, your mom's like nagging, like, why can't you just go to take like nursing or like
Yeah.
something like that. And I'm like, no, I don't want. I
You
could
look like a nurse. I think you put
Oh
on the nurse
no.
face.
No.
I could go into nursing. I could go also to ADM, which is the art design media. I had the entry test printed out. I was about to do it, and then I was like thinking, nah.
It's not work, man. Just to enter for the interview.
Yeah. I had all the questions, and I was like thinking about the concepts,
Right.
what kind of like things I want to draw,
Right.
but nah.
Well, look at where you went after that. So you went to poly, and then after that you went to NTU, right?
Yeah.
So although it was a kind of longer route, but still, I think
You have a lot
Yeah.
more experiences, and I mean, different places have different teaching moments lah.
true.
I would not exchange it for anything in the world.
I also feel like when you are of a certain kind of age that's different from your peers, it helps you detach yourself from that way of thinking. In a way, like you don't get sucked up into that lifestyle that we would at your 20s or your young age, I feel.
Maybe.
I could be wrong.
I have no idea. I was basically always on my own lah, so it was
Okay.
fine for me. Yeah, Hazira?
Before that, I want to say sorry if my voice is very like macam very nyaring because I have
Sama je
an
every day.
ulcer. I have an ulcer at the back of my throat, so it
Okay.
hurts really bad.
Oh no.
Yes. I couldn't even find it to like put Bonjela or whatever. But anyways,
How do you put Bonjela in your throat?
No, it's like macam under my tongue, near my throat.
Oh.
So it's always like in contact with my tongue.
Ow.
Yeah, it hurts.
Oh, it's the thingy, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Put the watermelon thing.
I'm gonna start my
Sorry.
story.
I'm help with the watermelon thing.
What watermelon?
This is like a small bottle yellow and red, and it's like a powdery thing. I feel like it works way better than Bonjela.
Apa itu?
I've never heard of it in
Yeah,
my
I've
life.
never seen it in
Later
my
I show you. Later I show you.
Okay, later we go pharmacy. Anyways, I don't know if it's ironically, but then like coincidentally, it's the same as you, macam like school education kan. So like, when I finished PSLE, I was really happy because PSLE, I was really happy because I finished like macam 200 and above. Okay, but it wasn't that great. It was just like 205. So I barely scraped through like getting into Express, and like because I didn't study and everything, so like Alhamdulillah. So I really wanted to get into Damai at that point in time because all of my friends went into Damai. Like a big chunk of them went to Damai, and like I was crying to my mom like, no, I really need to go to Damai. Please lah, just let me choose this once in my life. And then like she really mati don't want me to go into Damai because she said, have you ever seen Bedok Green, which is the school that I actually went? Have you ever seen Bedok Green students macam lepak one corner or like lepak bawah block? Have you seen them? Usually I see Damai people.
Oh, but Damai is a good school, isn't it?
I think so.
It's a good school. I thought, yeah.
But I guess macam I don't know why, but during that period of time, you really don't see a lot of Bedok Green
Right.
students loitering.
Maybe they loiter somewhere else.
Yeah, they loiter in the school maybe. Anyways, so I was crying. And I was like, whatever, like, I really have no chance anymore. So I entered Bedok Green. And I was wondering, like, why would you want me to go into Bedok Green? She said, first, they don't loiter. Second, they have black shoes. So you don't have to clean your shoes all the time.
Black shoes.
Sekolah black shoes. But yeah, anyways, and after that, I was like, okay, sure, maybe like the students are really nice, everything. And then to second day of school, when I first entered, ada orang kena caning. So it's really ironic, I think. to say that. Yeah. Anyways, back to the story. And then after,
When is this upset moment?
so the upset moment is when I want to get into Damai.
But your mom said no.
Yeah.
yeah,
right.
and it turned out to be one of the best 4 years.
Right.
And then poly also same thing. I really wanted to go SP or NYP or whatever.
Jauh. You just want to get away from like home area.
I guess. Also because my friends are there.
Right. Okay.
Like, because like when you go to TP, right, it's like everyone is still like fresh out of school. Not rarely you see people who's like 20 plus years, and like, I feel like TP is very like very young people. I rasa.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like very young people. Anyways, and I said I want to go SP. They said no.
Right.
Then I went to TP. Then I liked it.
Yeah.
3 years again.
Best 3 years of your life.
Best 3 years of my life. Another best 3 years of my life. So
Now I'm curious, like, why did your mom not allow you to go to SP? Is it because it's very far, or is it
Far.
because SP students tend to wear slippers
They tend to loiter.
TP also wear slippers. I rarely wear shoes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We always wear very lepak clothes to go to school.
But TP need to dress up a bit, I think. Anyways, I think because she knows I'm a very late person, I'm gonna wake up
yeah.
late for sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So even in poly, my father sent me to school.
This is near to your house.
Yeah.
How is it like
Alhamdulillah.
both your ups and moments have got to do with school?
Yeah.
Education system in Singapore just upsets
Yeah.
you. It puts
That's
too much
true.
pressure on you. Is it?
It's a big thing like in your life. You know, as much as they say like school is just a small factor, but then like it's actually a big thing.
Really?
I think so. I think
No? Nurul says no.
really. I think it's because I think that it's something that almost everyone goes through. Like PSLE, everyone might go through it. Then like poly or like ITE.
I mean, the first 10 years of your education is compulsory, lah. But
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And because everyone goes through it, that's really the benchmark everyone
Yeah.
has to compare you with everyone else.
Yeah.
It gives you a sense of security as well, lah. Like, if you want to do whatever passion projects that you want, and then like suddenly you realize that, okay, I need to go back to the workforce, and you have something to fall back on. I think that's what a lot of Singaporeans look for, lah. The piece of paper, just to give them a sense of security.
Yeah. And I also think that apart from school, I think school is like a decision that everyone has to make. But then like anything outside of school, like macam your work job or everything, I see it more as like a stepping stone through life. Like everyone has different pathways.
Right.
You don't really compare yourself. Yeah.
Now, Rhoda, it seems like your...
Susah nak cakap dengan throat macam gini.
Minum air, please.
Okay, thank you.
It seems like what you were upset in the moment was
Yes.
not related to school at all.
Actually, I'm trying very hard to think of one, but
Very
think
hard,
not school related.
If it's not
Yeah.
school related, it's a bit
I think there's
difficult.
probably so many out there, but I just forget about it. Like I think I just push it back to the back of my mind and just not think about it. But since we're on the topic of school,
Jangan lah. Just choose whatever that's not school.
I don't know. Upset.
Okay, anyway, just say school.
Okay, I mean, okay, I can just think of this lah. Work related. So the first, when I first entered the company that I'm in now, I was an intern, right? And no one actually teaches you how to write an email. No one really teaches you what to say, not to say lah. So it's things you learn throughout and you pick up here and there. Then there was this one person who is working, not really a colleague, but like remotely. So I was saying like relaying some instructions to him, and I was saying, okay, do this, do not do this, do this, do not do that. So when the item came back, one was not addressed. Most of it was not addressed. The ones that I said do not was done. So in my reply back, I stress again, please do not, and do not I put in uppercase. Do not, just to
So
stress.
angry.
No. I thought I was wanted to stress it. I said do not in uppercase, or I did bolded or something like that, just to stress it, do not do this. Thank you. Then after that, the person Skype me. Last time you Skype lah. Skype me. So, something loosely along these lines. He said, please do not ever speak to me like this.
In verbal.
on Skype.
In text lah.
Typing, yeah. Because I think on his end, he read it as I was trying to like reprimand him or like condescend him, you know.
Wait, who is this person? Like a client or like?
Working in a probably of the same, not client, no.
Okay, like a team member.
Yes, yeah. But not physically in the same space. So everything was corresponding on email. So I said, please do not speak to me ever like that, or I will never reply you. I will not do whatever you say. Yeah. Yeah. Then I was like, what do I do? Because at that point of time, like there was no real someone for me to like ask what should I do. Then I was like when you are like fresh out of school and then like, you know, what do I do in this kind of situation? And you also feel like a bit like macam
entitled.
No. You feel like you were wrong also.
Yeah.
Like because that's not what I meant at all. It was differently. Then I was like, I immediately wanted to write back. Then actually I think he emailed back to me in the private and not include everyone in copy in CC. Then I almost was like, should I BCC my boss? Because that used to what had happened in my internship previously. Like, yeah lah, if people not happy then they BCC the boss and things like that. So I really wanted to send the email, you know. Then I was like, I don't send first. And then in the end I didn't send the email. In the end I just like I just said, oh sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant something else, and it was fine after that. But in the heat of that moment, when I was so upset that how can you, it's your fault that you never do it properly, you never read it properly, you know, like I'm trying to reiterate what I'm saying, and now I feel like I'm being wronged. I was so close to, I think if I had sent the email I would have regretted it. I think it would have snowballed into something else. And like I think what I learned from that almost mistake or like that whole ordeal was that, like I think I've shared with you, like never really take action when you are angry in that moment. Like just, it takes so much of you to like really kind of stop yourself and like breathe and like write whatever you want to write in an email, but don't send it first. And then like go back to it like an hour or like, you know, at night or tomorrow, and then see whether it makes sense, because there's a lot of things that you cannot undo. And some things are like, you know, better said, not said really, and let just things just fall into place. Sometimes, you know, their actions, you would just want to tell someone that this is what this person done, right? But it doesn't happen. But in years to come, it would somehow like uncover itself. Through other things. So that was probably like my first like work thing that I didn't know how to deal with. But it has taught me patience.
You know, on that note, I was watching a podcast with Miss Nina and who's that guy? No, Saleh. So basically, they're husband and wife, and they said like their practice is that if they are angry at each other, they wouldn't talk to each other. So what they would do to reprimand or like macam react to the situation is they would text each other, because that's when you text, you read through what you're saying, so that you double check what you're saying, whether it's true or not. Because if you were to just like reprimand through verbal, it's very difficult to retract back your words. So I think typing helps.
I can see that it does not work for all couples.
For who?
For all couples.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I think it's good that you have something that works for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the topic of your work-related issues, it kind of reminded me of the first time someone actually scolded vulgarities at me for, not vulgarities lah, scolded me for something that I was not wrong of lah. I was in the front line, so basically I was doing the customer service, like you know, doing the registrations, and you are facing clients, right, or like customers lah. So basically this guy came into the doctor's office and said that, hey, I don't want to wait, I want to go to see the doctor now just to get my results. Like I don't want to see the doctor, I just want my results. So he took a test lah, and this test is a very private test, so only the doctor has access to the test. So he assumes that on my end, like my computer, I can see, like I can open his like, okay fine, I have his IC number and everything, I can open up his account, like his details, patient details, and I can click on his test to tell him about the results lah. But that's not the case. I can't see anything except for his details. That's about it. So I went over to my supervisor. My supervisor said cannot. So okay fine, I went back to him and said, I'm so sorry sir, you have to take a Q number and you have to wait to see the doctor, because the doctor only has access And then after that, he was like, no, I don't care. I don't want, blah, blah, blah. He made a huge fuss in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And after that, okay, fine. Then my supervisor said, go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor and asked him, although I know the answer to the whole entire thing, I cannot get access unless you go and see the doctor. So when I went out, it's just to show that
That
I am
you went,
doing
yeah.
something. Then the doctor said, no, cannot. You see, like these things, it's password protected, like times 2. Like you have to key in two people has to key in like some key in order to
Oh,
open
okay.
the test. So it's very private lah. And then I went out and then I said it to him, so sorry sir, but you still have to do it. I explained to him about the password protection thingy, and then he was like, no, I don't care. Like you are useless. And then he just like walk away. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
How
Customer service.
Yeah. The
Respect.
patience. Yeah.
you take cover in your
The
head is like
the patience it takes for you to handle patience. Yeah, but I was so lucky that immediately after that, right, there's a door behind me where I can go inside the staff room.
Yeah.
So I just like, okay, turn around and go in there like,
Nangis lah.
yeah, lah, I'm like shocked to the
Ah,
moment.
seh.
Like, you're useless. I'm like, what? I help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my god. So,
But a lot of kudos to the frontliners and the
Yeah.
customer service officers. They probably have had worse experience, to be honest.
I don't know how they have it in them to tolerate people like that. And how can
Yeah.
people like that even exist?
But I understand he probably just didn't want to waste his time and he was just trying his luck. But it actually taught me about sometimes when someone blurts out something, it's probably their issues and it's
Right.
not your own fault.
And it really is not you. And like those
Yeah,
are
it's
the kind of
not.
things that you really cannot undo. And it's so hard to unheal.
Yeah, your skin actually thickens from that.
Right? Take a lot more to embarrass you now.
Is that what? Useless? Yeah, I know. I think I'm useless too. Hazira is like imagining it, is it?
What would you do if you were in Nurul's shoes?
First of all, I think I will cry also.
But you can't cry in front of the patient. lah. It's so embarrassing if you cry in front of the patient.
I think maybe, honestly, if in my head, like if I'm strong enough to think that custom is always right, then I would be like you and I would say thank you or whatever, then just like walk away and like have some time to myself and then like come back to work. But I think if I do not think about what's gonna happen, like if I'm not calm enough, I'll be rude. Easy say. I would like, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
I was like, I think it's very easy to always like have the spur of the moment, like to stand up for yourself and like
I think that's really hard
explain the situation.
to like stand up for yourself in that moment. Because I feel like if I were in Nurul's shoes, I'll be like kind of trying to process everything. Like, is this really happening? What is happening? Is this really happening to me? What is this person saying? So much that I cannot even utter proper words to defend myself. I think
It's the shock of like,
yeah. So I think you need to go through that a few times.
yeah.
So that you can mentally kind of train yourself.
Oh, that's
also.
true, yeah.
So okay, this is what you need to say. Someone trying to like bully you into doing something.
Yeah.
Suddenly the air is like,
Malaikat lalu. Okay lah guys. I
Okay.
think
Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching. Please.
thank you, like, share and subscribe this video.
Okay, we wish Hazira a speedy recovery.
Yes.
Bye.
bye.
Annyeong! Welcome to Jeju, South Korea, the island of beautiful nature, the best beaches, and home to some of the most scenic road trips. Indulge in only the best classic and halal Korean food scene and enjoy the laid-back lifestyle here on this island. Get your legs ready to hike up the Songsan Ilchulbong to see the amazing view of this little town, and maybe say hello to the Henyo, the majestic female divers right by the ocean. And one thing you can never miss on this island is the $1 million sunset at Depo Chisang Jolly Cliff. All of that right here in Jeju, South Korea. Alright guys, thanks for listening. So we'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget to give us a shout out on anchor.fm/the Halal Travel Podcast. Your voice message could be featured in our next episode.
Yup, and if you have any advertising and collaboration opportunities, contact us at info@halaltrip.com. That's info@halaltrip.com.
Also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Halal Trip. We're also now on Telegram and TikTok. Until next time, get inspired, go and inspire others.